When you present your work in the public, you're creating a site of engagement between the viewer and the artwork. And I think that dynamic is very different when you're in a public space.
We can be very stuck in our little worlds, and I wanted to try something different, and I wanted all different types of people to have access to it.
Even the most established artists in the world, when they take on this particular challenge, are almost starting from scratch. So it can be very generative for artists. Jenny Holzer did her very first LED piece as a part of Messages to the Public. Matthew Monahan did his first bronze for an exhibition we had at City Hall Park. Tatiana Trouvé used materials she had never used before. Ryan Gander did his very first public art commission for Public Art Fund. Ugo Rondinone, he'd never worked on that scale with stone before.
It's really a source of great pride and excitement when we can give an artist an opportunity that shapes the way they're going to pursue their artistic practice.
Walk the Walk was a large performance piece and sculpture in Bryant Park. It was a big yellow cube, and 7 women were walking on top of it. 2 groups of women, but 7 at one time, 5 hours each, so 10 hours a day for an entire work week. The women had to navigate their own space, so they were swerving around 100 square feet together, and the only way they could communicate was with their humps. I had never made public art, I had never made sculpture that big, and I had never done live performance, and I had never worked with people besides me. I had also never been able to be an observer in my work. Beyond like an artistic revelation, it was really an emotional experience for me to be able to see people engage with your work on such an intimate level. It made me realize I want a bigger public. I mean, that's basically what I do now, mostly. These kinds of large-scale performances with objects that are transformed through these actions. And the start of the Public Art Fund.
I've done 2 projects with the Public Art Fund, one at Metro Tech in Brooklyn and another in City Hall Park called Code Poem. It was a series of circles, squares, and rectangles, which referred back to the visual representation of Morse code, but it was, for all purposes, completely abstract. That was actually the first time that I had ever presented a large piece in public space, outdoors, that became a site where people who were protesting in support of Black Lives Matter ended up occupying the sculpture and using it as a stage while they were protesting. To see people sort of use the artwork as a mechanism, as a system of support, as a means to present certain political ideas and ideals was pretty compelling.
Public Art Fund changed my life, there's no question. It allowed me to be more ambitious. It opened up this huge new pathway for me that I'm still figuring out.
My contribution was static, and the public created something else. They actually opened up the possibilities of what the art is and what it can do.